What is happening, everybody? Welcome back to Tour Life. Today is June 24th, and I am in Des Moines. I have made it. I have made the travel, and we are here. Yuli will be joining us soon. He said he is running a little bit late. I was running a little bit late as well, but we do have Gary here, PDJ Mike on the keys as well. And we should have a good show tonight for you guys. We're going to be having Austin Turner on, who just got off a playoff victory up at the Majestic. We're going to be having Big Jerm on, taking down his second win of the season. And then we've got Yuli's caddy, one of the best interviews that we get on the podcast, Brad Hammock, coming on the podcast tonight. Potentially, Gary. It's not 100%.
We'll see how successful he was at the casino.
Yeah. How are things going with you guys?
Pretty good. We just got back this past weekend, going down to Ocean City to celebrate my wife and I's 11th year anniversary of married.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It was our son's first time ever seeing the ocean or getting in the ocean water, so that was a blast.
That's awesome. I don't know if it's equivalent, but one of our dogs has not seen the ocean yet, so that's something that's on Kelsey's bucket list, is to get Moose Man down to the beach.
That'd be a lot of fun. I imagine chasing a dog around the beach might be similar to chasing a 2-year-old around the beach.
Yeah, they definitely get a lot sandier too with their hair all over the place.
For sure.
So I was able to get out today and play with Ezra and Aaron Gooseman.
Oh, cool.
And that video will be coming out tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that on the YouTubes, guys. It should be a good video. And I was able to kind of get a sense of the course, see what the course is looking like this year. Luckily, we found a little window. The weather up here has not been great. So we found a little window of no rain, but it has been raining all night, and it rained a lot this morning. So some slick tee pads. I'm not entirely sure why they're going turf on some and concrete on others. Hole 1 has a brand new tee pad. It's concrete. And then you have, which I think is one of the best tee pads on the entire course, hole 8, hole 7. Hole 7 is turf. So very interesting, but I was able to kind of see the entire course. Tomorrow will be the Pro-Am. So they have, I think, 30 or about 28 or so amateurs coming out to play with a handful of the pros. Cool. So I'll get to be able to participate in that tomorrow, which will be fun. And then the Content Creators Cup is going down on Thursday. Now, I don't know why, Gary, what are your guys' thoughts on it starting so late? It's like, I don't know if we're even going to be able to get all the holes in. We're starting at like 6 o'clock, maybe.
Yeah, that's a tough one, because especially with all of the different things they're going to be trying to do with the special holes and the custom things like that to move those people through the course. That's going to be difficult. I hope they can get it all in. I know it's not the first time this year where they've had something start a little bit later than anticipated and kind of fighting daylight.
Yeah. So the course does have a couple big changes. I would say overall, it's going to play very similar to years past. Some changes I like, some changes I don't like. I don't hate the new tee pad on hole 1. One of the reasons why they have it is because the old tee pad was a little bit close to 2's basket. So they're trying to remove, trying to get further away from that, which I don't hate. Not a huge fan of the double Mandos on hole 1. They are now forcing everyone to go up and through the trees. I did like the idea that players could throw hyzer over OB. A lot of players mess that shot up. It is a tricky shot, especially in the wind. So I don't like, I like it when we have options. I think that when you make players have to make decisions off the tee pad, I think that is a better solution a lot of times Now, that doesn't mean let's just give super easy shots, but when you have players not 100% confident on should I go up the middle or should I throw a hyzer, that little doubt in their mind could cause them not to be confident in their shot, commit to their shot completely, and end up throwing, an errant shot. So that hole, you're going to see everyone go up the middle now. It does make the second shot a little bit more interesting because they did one of the changes on hole one that I do like is now about 100 feet short of the basket, might be actually like 80 or 60 feet, there is a hazard zone. Gotcha. So now players that don't throw a great tee shot, they are going to have to question whether or not they actually want to try to go in advance to the basket. So I think right off the gate, hole one, you're going to see a lot of decision making. You might see some players chip, get a par and get out of there, because it could be a high number to start your round, which wouldn't be a great way to start. Hole two, they brought in the OB off of the backside OB, and they pinched that in a little bit. It's going to make people have to think how aggressive they want to get off the tee pad now. So it makes that shot a little bit more challenging. Players are going to probably land a lot, but a lot of players are going to land probably by the drop zone tee pad, which is roughly like a 400-foot forehand, or backhand, depending on what you want to throw there. I think it suits the forehand more than the backhand. But another challenging 2-shot par 4 where you're not seeing players. Most players aren't going to be throwing a huge drive and then having like a 250-foot upshot, right?
Yeah.
Hole 3, they pinched the OB in a little bit. I don't hate that. It also looks like I think they might have cut a tree down or something. That gap seems a lot more open than in the years past, which I love. Hole 4 is playing the same. 5 is playing the same. 6, 7, 8, 9 is all playing the same. The par 5, 10 is the same. 11 is the same. I think from there on out, everything is playing the same except when you get to hole 18. Hole 18, they did put a Mando on a tree for second shot. So if you remember last year, there was 2 gaps. There was a gap on the right and a gap on the left where people would like throw over the stands, throw over the crowd. But if you got too far right, you could kind of sneak through this backdoor gap. There's a Mando now left of that tree, so no one can go through that gap, which I don't hate. I think a lot of that maybe has to do with just spectators weren't able to see shots go through that right tunnel. It was completely blocked, and so they probably didn't want that to happen. But overall, this, like I said, this course is incredible. The people, I don't know if it's the volunteers or if they have a grounds crew with the city or what it is, but they get this course ready. Obviously, the tee pads could be better, but when are we not complaining about tee pads, right? The thing that they do so well, though, and you'll see this on coverage, if you haven't watched the tournament, if you've never watched the Des Moines Challenge, you got to watch this weekend. They make artificial OB the correct way. And how they do it, Yuli, what's up, brother?
Hey.
How they do it is they grow the grass out. When you can control grass length, it visually, not just for the players, but for the fans, the spectators on the grounds, and those watching, having OB with longer grass, it makes the worlds of difference. It looks so much more professional, looks so much better, and you're no longer thinking, oh my God, they have all this artificial OB all over this course. This sucks. You're now thinking, oh, don't throw it in the tall grass. That's a bad shot. So I absolutely love that. And, the greens around here, they do a great job of getting mulch, fresh mulch to make it look nice. They just do a really, really good job. And the crowds always show up for this tournament. So it's always a pleasure to come up to Des Moines.
Yeah, it's nice to see. One of the common traits we've seen at courses this year so far is it feels like the Pro Tour has been coming in. We saw it especially at the Northwest Disc Golf Championship and then at the Preserve, and tightening OB on both sides of the fairway and trying to like constrict the fairways a bit. And I was concerned going into this one with how I think well designed this course typically is, that a lot of that same thing was going to happen. And like you mentioned, there's only a few greens. It seems like the OB was kind of brought in on a little bit, but they, for the most part, left the rest of the course alone, which is, I think, a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think this course, we kind of looked up scores in the past. You got to shoot right around double digits to win. 30 under one last year. I believe the year before that, about 20, or the year before that, 19 under one because they had to cancel one of the rounds. So it is right around double digits to win. And also, when the winds get up out here, shooting 6
what's
or
the
7
weather
under,
look like?
Doesn't look great for these next couple days, but it does look like it's supposed to clear, which is awesome for the weekend. But it looks like, I mean, the Content Creator Cup could get potentially stormed out because it does look like thunderstorms are supposed to roll in tomorrow and Thursday. But Friday, Saturday, Sunday looks beautiful. 5 to 10 mile an hour winds, 10 to 15 on Saturday, 5 to 10 on Sunday. So should be seeing some pretty good scoring out there.
I picked a good week to only come in on Wednesday. Perfect.
Yeah. I think you're in a good spot here. I got up here on Monday. I got up here last night, but we were able to get a full round. Yeah, we were able to get a full practice round in today, which was nice without too much rain. But yeah, we'll see. How's everything going with you, Yuli?
Man, it's been a hectic week. I mean, I'm leaving for a month and however many days, so getting stuff done around the house. I'd mentioned that I don't know if I mentioned it, but I made the decision to not take the fam with me, which is going to suck. So I'm going to be out in Europe for like a month and a little time. And I think I made a good decision. With all this stuff going on around the world too, kind of made me a little nervous. A lot easier for me to travel by myself. And if I have to get home in a jiffy, I think it's easier for me to do that than if I have a wife and a 10-month-old. So that'll make me feel a lot more comfortable. But it's gonna suck, dude. Never been away for that long, and Rain is only 10 months, and yeah, not looking forward to that part about it. Kind of depressing, but hey, man, it's my job, and I got to go get it done. So that's what I got to do.
What's the saying? Distance makes the heart grow fonder. Is that the saying? Did I get that right?
It sounds good.
Spoken like not a parent.
Is that what it is?
You know what? We're lucky in this day and age, though, because we do have FaceTime, which is very important, and that's been really a godsend because I wouldn't be able to do it if I didn't have that. But yeah, getting stuff, like I said, done. I'm gonna be gone for so long, doing yard stuff, making sure that I have like people to mow the lawn and do all those things when I'm gone. And so I leave at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. And today I did a whatnot stream. I've just been crazy busy. But anyways, enough about that. Dude, this last week was awesome as far as disc golf goes, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, it depends on what we're talking about, I guess, right? There is unfortunately,
hey, Blurry Horse is back. I like that.
Am I a little blurry?
Oh yeah, to me.
Airbnb Wi-Fi. Shout out. Yeah, I guess this weekend in disc golf, it depends on what you're talking about as far as was it good or bad.
Entertaining.
There was a couple things. Yeah, there was a couple things I would say bad that we'll probably get to later in the show. But yeah, for the time being, let's talk about the good. I know we got Austin Turner coming on at some point, and we'll discuss with him how that
Austin,
went all
we got
down.
Big Jerm.
Big Jerm and Brad's coming on.
And
too.
I did get a hold of Brad, and I was completely right with the text that I sent. So I sent him. I was hoping he was going to be at the house with Austin because Austin's like, yeah, we left at the same time. Brad disappeared. We're here. He's gone. He left his phone in the car, and then finally got back to me. I'm like, hey, if you can figure out how to use the link that I sent you, congratulations. But if not, it's all good. So it's a complete Bradism as far as whether he's on or not. And if he gets on, it'll be electric. But yeah, Jerm and Austin said that they'd be on. All three winners of the Majestic this week, and that'll be fun conversations.
Yeah, and I reached out to Evelina. She is traveling right now for the European Championships, but did say that she would like to come on the podcast. So I don't know if that's next week or 2 weeks from now or whatnot, but we will get Evelina on, which will be a great interview, because if you watch this past weekend, the U.S. Women's Disc Golf Championship, the only person that might throw better off the tee is Henna, potentially, than Evelina. She is right now head. I'm getting all my sayings wrong. Heads and shoulders, potentially. Heads and shoulders above the shoulders. Hey, great brand too, by the way.
Head and shoulders, knees and toes above everybody.
above the rest of the field with her drives.
Brad just texted me that he's in, by the way, so I think he might have clicked the link early.
Oh, like he's on now? We can bring him on now.
I don't know. Let's ask this. Is he in there?
Mike, is he in here? Or is he? Yeah, I have a hard time believing he actually clicked the right link, and he's actually he's ready.
I promise you, I've only sent him one link ever. So.
Let's bring him on. Brad rejoining the show again.
He's at the table.
Where the heck are you?
What's going on? I'm playing poker.
Are you in a poker tournament?
No, it's a cash game. A little 1-2 action here in Des Moines.
Okay. I mean, you got the World Series of Poker coming up. You getting prepped for that?
Come on, you know I'm a broke joke, man. How am I going to get in on that?
We might have to one year. We might have to both put up $5K to send Brad to Vegas for the World Series of Poker. Yeah, just to see what he's capable of.
Uli's the monster poker player. I'm pretty good, but Uli's a monster.
Well, this is the first time I think we've ever had someone call in from a casino, so this should be fun and exciting. Talk about this past weekend, because when we had you on the podcast last, you weren't really playing too much disc golf at the time. So give the people a little update of what went down this past weekend.
Just an absolute debacle. I'm not playing much disc golf now either. First I fell down like some old man and jammed my wrist, and the next thing you know, there's needle nose pliers in the back of my shoulder for a month, and finally got that to go away. And then my hip said, "Hey, remember me? Yeah, the guy that works fine but wants to feel like I'm going to stab you with an ice pick every now and then." So I'm damaged goods, dude. High mileage, damaged goods. I mean, dude, it's a joke. I've been.
You got the dub, though. Tell us about the tournament, dude.
I mean,
yeah.
Dude,
how'd the tournament go?
Dude, that's what I'm trying to explain. I don't. I guess I have some skills left in the tank, but they're certainly not very honed, and my body is in shambles. I don't know what's going on, but so Kale LaVisca puts me on this Asian acupressure place, New Dragon, over there in Minnesota. The lady's working on me. I'm like, give me all you got. I'm high pain tolerance. I know I'm a tough patient, yada, yada, yada. Next thing you know, they switch it up, and this dude comes over, and he's driving his elbow into my hip, and I'm like, yeah, that's it. Let's go. Get in there, Anyway, long story short, decent session. I felt pretty good coming out of there. But
what day was this of the tournament?
This was 2 days before the tournament started.
Okay, so you were already knowing going into the tournament that your body's a little bit banged up.
Oh, 1,000%. And
okay.
I haven't played at all because I've been injured for the last month and a half. So, I mean, seriously.
What made you want to play this tournament then?
Great shots are a fluke, but they do happen occasionally, even when you're all banged up, So, I had gotten on the wait list because I knew it was going to be an off week for Paul. So I was like, well, maybe there's a chance I could. So I end up getting in on the waiting list, and like I say, got the little tune up, and then I come home and I'm like, sweet, I got the gun, and I'm, everywhere else on my body and on my leg. And I feel like I'm feeling pretty good. So, my thing is to stretch under the hot water in the shower. So that's like my favorite thing as far as getting my day going. I got to have a shower, yada, yada, yada. I'm 90 years old. It's like you got to warm the car up, before you get going. You know the deal.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay.
I'm with you on that.
Right. I'm like, great. I feel better. That massage was definitely a good value. I feel pretty good. Let's just use this as a springboard. You need to get in a little better shape anyway. I don't do much core exercise. I'm a little weak here and there, yada, yada, yada. So I stretch in the shower and I'm like, yeah, I got some range of motion, baby. Stretch. Yeah. All of a sudden, my back, I don't know if you guys have ever had a cinched back or when it just goes and grabs at you and then it's like seized up a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me, dude? I just got a tune up and I stretched.
Tune up.
Breaking down again. What is the deal, bro?
So are you at this point? Are you thinking that you can even play in the tournament?
Well, I'm like, I'm gonna have to gobble some Advil, and hopefully that'll, put everything at bay a little bit, and I can feel like I'm even somewhat capable of giving it a go, And so anyway, yada yada yada. We get up at 4 a.m. because the grandpas have to tee off at 7 a.m. Top of the morning, fellas.
You had a 7 a.m. tee time?
Yeah.
Wait, how many people are in the field?
In my field, a whopping handful of senior citizens.
Oh, so they're just kicking you out the door first thing in the morning.
Yeah. And I get it. The pros are the deal. That's the deal. I was a pro. Now I'm a schmo. And so I got to tee off at 7 a.m. So there you go. So, I get out there and I'm like, I just don't, my move is a lot of leg work combined with the upper body. And so if the wheels are broken, dude, it's hard to get the wagon rolling. You know what I mean? So my wheels are seized up a little bit. And I'm like, great, here we go. But, I thought I was somebody for a second, dude. And the next thing you know, oh, hello, Mr. Triple, Mr. Double. Oh, came up with a. But luckily for me, this weekend, I played the last 2 holes like an absolute golf guru. I mean, I played them perfectly. It's a little soft par 4 where you chip it around the corner hyzer for the righty, and you throw it to this elevated 3-tiered green with rocks all over it. Pretty cool hole. And I birdied it all 3 rounds. And in the final round, it was the biggest pillow fight you've ever seen in your life. Ray over. I mean, dude. Hey, how about I throw out of bounds twice in a row from nowhere with no reason to go out of bounds? Make a trip lead when it's looking like I'm not going to do anything today and I'm just going to cruise to victory. And then, oh, God. Then I missed a 5-footer with 5 holes to go.
Oh, no. Oh, my gosh.
Par putt on the driving range hole, the par 4.
Is this filmed?
Gosh, I wish it was.
Jeez Louise, it should have been.
Oh, man.
The biggest 2 dinosaurs flopping around in a mud pile. So I give the guy, long story short, hey, Brad, if you just get up and down from 130 feet, you'll get a stroke on the guy. No, oh, hey, Brad, if you can just hit this island, you're probably going to get a couple of strokes. Sorry, can't do it. Then he misses the island. We both bogey. And then down the stretch, like I say, 5 holes to go. I miss my par putt, and I just go, bloink, out of the pit. And gave him 1-stroke lead. He proceeds to hand it right back to me on the next hole from about 13 feet. We're all tied. First of all, I played a billion tournaments. This tournament would not have been that big of an importance to me to win in the grand scheme of things, other than the fact that I knew that there was a Minnesota Timberwolves jersey on the line for a trophy and a decent little shimmies. Yeah, Brody, it was beautiful, and I'm like, what? They told me about it before, and I'm like, Got to have that jersey, dude. Got to have it. But then the other guy on my shoulder was like, man, this guy, it would mean the world for him to win, you know. And throughout my career, I
let the guy win. You were thinking about letting this guy win?
You know, as you get older, you soften up a little bit. You know, you see the bigger picture and you're like, yeah, whatever. You know, I know Ray really wants to win. He's a local guy. I've been playing like a clown. We're pretty close. He's not playing his best, you know. And I opened the door as wide as I could.
Oh, look at you there.
See that jersey, dude?
Yeah, it seems like this past weekend there was a lot of trophies that were getting people motivated to win. So it's going around.
Yeah, dude, listen, and that was so much fun watching Summer Boy, because I was like, this Joe Revere guy's after my records. You know, he tied my 3-in-a-row Masters last year, and it turns out he's an absolute animal of a player for as old as he is. And
that's Aaron Goss. That's Aaron Goss's biggest rival.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
I'm a goose. You know, I don't want the guy breaking my records, obviously, and he looks like it's an. The guy's solid, but we got Kale LaVisca, local Minnesota boy, on his home turf, knows the tracks like the back of his hand, and he hung with Joe this weekend. He'd probably play his best, finish a few strokes behind him, but so yeah, I saw that Hot Boy Summer was the Great White Hope.
That's Turner. He calls him Hot Boy Summer.
Austin Turner. Summer. So I'm like, sweet. So I get something to eat. I go back and I see him over there and I run over and I'm following him. And I'm like, this is awesome. And not the best lefty holes coming down the stretch. And
hey, you can't give away all of it. We're going to have Austin on after you.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. Well, you know, yeah. I watched that and that was exciting. And yeah, it was cool. I guess I don't want to give away the end of the movie unless you guys already know it. But
no, we all know.
Well, okay. Yeah. So he's winning. He ends up winning, which was super. It's super exciting.
You didn't explain how you won. You got 2 holes to play.
Yeah, I was going to say you birdied the 17th, and now you're on 18. What's the score at?
What are you at?
Well, what happened was when I gave him the 1-stroke lead with 5 to go, he donked it right back to me on a short par putt on the next hole. We're tied. I threw the worst upshot on the third to the last hole from 120 feet because I couldn't throw a shot down a retro straightaway hole. I got nothing. I hit the tree and Are
you like nervous? Do you get the the nerves going through you?
More apathetic and just like I say, the one guy on my shoulder was like, it'd be great if this guy won. I know it'd be great for him. But then there's the other guy on my shoulder is like, dude, you want that jersey, bro. And you don't like to lose. You know you don't like to lose. Why are you playing like this? Who's got your brain? What's going on? You know. So I yanked this upshot, dude, and I guess it was just sometimes the gods just throw you a bone. Maybe it was because deep in my heart I was kind of being a little bit of a nice guy by allowing this man to take the tournament from me if he would step up and do so. But he apparently didn't want it either. It didn't seem like that much, or he was nervous or whatever. But anyway, 2 holes to go. We're still tied after the gods get.
We're still at 2 holes to go, Brad.
And anyway, like I say, I played 26 and 27, the last 2 holes to perfection all weekend. And this was actually the best. I threw a perfect drive, and then I just filleted this stable doggy that jumped right up under the bucket. And I put the pressure on him, and they put an artificial tree in the middle of the fairway, and he threw his upshot right into that tree. I took a 1-stroke lead to the last hole, which is an island green of about 300 feet. And it was pretty darn windy right to left. And I go, man, I'm going to lay it up. You're going to have to birdie to tie me. And I chipped it up there, and he went out of bounds.
Wait, you told him that before you threw?
Yeah. Dinosaur division. It's so casual. You could follow.
So you guys are just chatting about your strategies to each other.
I was like, dude, I'm not going to go for it. I'm just going to lay it up. And, if you can birdie, we'll have us a little playoff. And I threw a perfect layup, and then yada, yada, yada. He threw it out of bounds. So I laid it up for the win, which was nice. But I really would have been happy for Ray. He was a super nice guy, and and I think he had a little bit of a asthma deal going on. I mean, he labored with his breathing quite a bit all weekend, which also kind of ripped at the heartstrings a little bit. You know, felt bad for my boy, and they're so nice.
Well,
just so down to earth and nice. You know.
How hard is it to play 27 holes? What does that feel like? That difference?
Man, I you know, probably me in my current state, I had no business playing 27 holes with a tweaked back and a bad hip and all that stuff. But, you know, I gobbled the Advil and was able to get around, and it was okay. And I actually, dude, I shot a 10 over par, knock. Hello, never done that in my life. At any point, for any reason, I shoot 10 over, but somehow I go, oh, fillet birdie on 17. It gives me one stroke lead. I played for the win and I won. You know, it was like I say, it was like the God said, hey, goofball, that was a nice gesture. You need to win this tournament. You need that jersey, bro. You do not want to face the boys without the jersey. And the God's like kind of threw me a bone, and I played the last hole perfect again. You know, I was 5 under with a layup for the win on the last 2 holes, which is
that's awesome.
Cool. Yeah, they were the 18th or 27th hole is a little bit of a gut check shot. You know, not the biggest of a postage stamp green with OB all around it, and the wind was kicking pretty good. You know, 20 miles an hour. So
does this motivate you to like defend the title, defend the jersey next year?
Buddy, if I'm healthy, you know me, I love the game, dude. I love to compete, and I don't do it much anymore. Absolutely, man. I mean, dude.
Yeah, you got to circle this one on the calendar next year.
Yeah, and Mike Mizakayan, the local guy, he turned 60 this year. He goes, he didn't have his A game this year either, though he played in the 55-year-old. He said, Brad, you come up here next year, I'm going to be ready for you. And I said, yeah, let's make a vow to try and be in better shape next year, and maybe we'll have a good battle. And so
there you go.
Yeah. But, you know, the Worlds, Uli's going to Europe, and the Worlds is in Minnesota next week. So I'm trying to swiggle daggle in there if I can get my back feeling good. But I go to tie my shoes today, and my freaking back goes, hey, buddy, how you doing? So I'm tightened up, so I'm going to have to invest in some body work. I'm trying to get myself ready to go, you know? And if
I could see you getting in one of those like upside down beds. You like strap yourself in. I could see you getting one of those.
What is that?
They strap you in like a gurney, and then they flip you upside down, and you just let gravity do the work.
Buddy, listen.
I don't know if it works, but I could see you doing it.
Buddy, you could see me jumping off of a light pole into a thimble full of water if it would make my hip feel better.
Yeah, the inversion bed. That's what it's called. Look it up. Inversion bed.
The inversion bed. I know about that.
Yeah, you might need some of that decompression.
Dude, I do. You know, I've been in multiple severe near-death car accidents, and I call myself a modern miracle of science because I'm basically given the amount of trauma I've experienced in all of my days. And but yeah, this hip thing's kind of nagging at me, dude, and it's really getting to be but you know, like I say, I got some work on it, and I think it's one of those things that if I get the right treatment on it, I will be able to, you know, function pretty well and play some good disc golf.
How's the cards doing? Are we up?
I'm up about $90. Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
1-2. Yeah, went on a little heater earlier. Oh, listen, this guy laid down. He flopped the ass end of the straight, and I had top kicker. I check it to him. We're heads up. He leads out for 35, and I just said, I'm all in because I had top. I'm like, there's no way this guy flopped the straight. And he goes, oh, man, this is unbelievable. I can't believe I flopped the ass end of it here. But there's no way you're going all in like that if you don't have the nuts, you know? And I'm just like, of course, he's got the straight. He's going to call. He's going to flatten me. You know, I'm out. And then he laid it down, dude. Perhaps another bone from the poker / disc golf gods, sporting gods, whoever. They're like, Yeah, give the old cripple guy a bone, make the guy make a bad lay down here. And so that's really why I'm.
Why are you going all in with 2 pair again, dude? We've talked about this.
Dude, I had top. I'm like, I don't want to get, and it was a juicy wet board. I'm like, I can't let him just get there. He bet 35. I got top. I'm like, buddy, I'm all in. If you got it, you got it. He had it and he folded it. Thank you, Jesus.
So, is there anyone there with you, or did you go solo dolo on this one?
On solo.
Solo dolo?
No. Yeah. Solo dolo. Yep. Absolutely.
Are you like tapping out at a certain, like, if you get to like up 200, are you tapping out, or how's that work for you?
Dude, I am on an absolute mission to run this up to 1,000, bro. That's what I want to do.
Oh,
yeah,
you might be there all night.
There's some pretty good action in here. A lot of pretty good players, but there's some action junkies too. Like last year, I remember this guy was saying the best hand in the whole game is King 4. I'm like, what? A knucklehead, King 4. And he kept hitting it over and over. And I'm like, what is going on, dude? And I got King 4 a little while ago, so I tried to play it. Air ball. But it was just a $2 ante. So I didn't go nuts with it. What have you been up to, bro?
Me? Oh, I've been getting less fat is what I've really been up to.
Nice. Dude, you looked like an MMA fighter last time I saw you. How could you get any less fat?
No. Last time you saw me, I was in shape. Then I got up to 280 pounds. So.
Oh, you've been on
big. I've been big. Yeah. But now I'm back down to 235 now. So.
Wow. What was it?
We're getting a
bunch of pizzas and shakes or what?
But yeah, it was not working out, and then just eating whatever I wanted to eat.
Yeah.
What that'll get to you real fast. Yeah. But I want to ask you this before we let you go back to your poker match, because you were talking about the trophy and how you wanted to win, partially because of that trophy. Since you do seem to value good trophies, if you had to make a major championship trophy, what type of trophy would you make?
Wow. Good question. I mean, one of my favorite trophies of all time, Santa Cruz, they put a little basket in a piece of wood and it's pretty cool. It says Santa Cruz Masters Cup. But my favorite trophy was when I beat the champ in that 2-horse pony where Ron Russell finished 3rd place, 17 strokes behind me. And it was the 1997 Edgewood Electric. And it's just this beautiful piece of crystal that when you hit it with the finger, it goes ting, it's got that real nice sound to it. I really like nice pieces of crystal with a nice engraving on it, with the date and the year and all that.
So you're out on homemade pottery.
Totally. Yeah. I remember you talking about the trophy thing on your back in the past, and I was like, he's absolutely right, dude. Sometimes these trophies are just, it's like, guys, really? You might as well just wrote something on a straw and handed it to him. Wake up. Straw, the wrapper's still on it, bro. Congratulations.
Yeah, or give me a gift card. I'll take a gift card.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, dude, a lot of people might not feel this way, but for me, I always wanted to see if I could find out what the trophy was before the tournament started and just get fixated on the trophy, you know what I mean? Because ultimately, in the grand scheme of things, other than your documented victories, the trophy is really what you want, what you covet, you want that trophy, especially if it's a nice one, so yeah.
A lot of times now they just have the trophies sitting out on the tables on hole 1, so you can kind of see it beforehand. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for us, Brad, honestly. Sometimes it makes you wonder what's going on and what tournament you're actually playing. But we will get into that.
At the Open Championship, ball golf, they have that trophy, that claret jug up there,
Nice.
Yeah, sitting there on the first tee, I believe, right?
Yep. No, it's super, super nice. All right. Well, Brad, we'll let you get back to the poker. let us definitely fill us in. Definitely text Yuli how you're doing, and we can maybe give them an update in like an hour or so if you're up or down.
Yeah. Hey, listen. They won't see me coming. If I do get in the Worlds next week, they're going to go, homeboy shot 19 over last week. Bring him on, man. Put his money on the ground. But if I can get healthy, I am capable of playing some pretty darn good disc golf. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love to hear that. And I'll be seeing you this Thursday too. So you better be ready to go Thursday.
Oh, dude, I am. And how about my boys? Shout out to Big Ools. Switching gears, bro. My boy's throwing it farther and more accurately, and we know how good of a putter he is.
Well, hey, I'll be firsthand watching on Thursday.
Right, and I don't want to put any pressure on the big dog, but he's a mutter, and the weather's looking pretty Julio. Yeah, so it's all looking good this week. I'm fired up about this weekend. That's what's important to me. Getting some great play out of Big Ools, in the next few years. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a great tournament to do it at too. It really is.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah.
All right, brother. We appreciate you coming on always. You're always welcome.
Thanks. See you, Brad. Love you, Bubba.
All right. There, Brad. All right. Always electric with Brad. I love how we were somehow getting closer and closer to 18, and then we'd go like back 5 holes, and then we'd get to like 17 again, and then we go back a couple holes, and it was just a constant
you gotta keep the guy on track. Believe me, hours and hours in the car with that guy. You just be like, hey, what happened in 1983, at the blah 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 blah, and then you just let him ride, dude.
And you would eventually get to it.
Yeah.
Mike, do we have Austin in the wings, or what's the situation? Because we have Austin ready to go. We'll just pop him on.
Ready, he said.
Okay, let's rock and roll.
Hot boy summer.
Hot boy, yeah. Austin Turner, aka Hot Boy Summer. He's wearing his jersey too.
Yeah, I haven't put it on for you guys.
Everyone's rocking it out. Love it. How's it going, man?
Good. Just out here.
Oh, he gone.
If he's at Pickard, it has the worst cell service. I tried to do a show earlier today, and it was absolute cheeks.
Really?
Yeah.
He was good for a second.
Cheeks. He was good for a second. Mike, is there a way to just do audio with him? Is that possible? To have him like call into the show?
Oh, here we go.
Oh, maybe someone call. We got you, Austin. Can you hear us?
Can y'all hear us?
We can hear you now. Yeah.
I can't hear y'all at all.
Oh no.
There we go. Sorry.
Are you back?
Dude, people always call me when I get on these things.
Oh, you got a phone call. Okay, good.
Kick me out.
Are you at Pickard Park right now?
No, we're at Ewing Park right now. AB and Adam are doing this champs versus chumps battle. There's a bunch of locals here.
Oh, heck
so I just came and hang out.
Oh, okay, very nice. Okay, I was gonna say I tried to do a show earlier today from Pickard Park, and the reception was terrible. So I was like, if he's at Pickard Park right now, this is not going to go well.
Cooked.
But no, it seems like you're good now. But yeah, I guess for those that weren't able, I don't even know, is the footage out yet? Does GoThrow get that footage out pretty quick?
Couple rounds. I was actually watching round 1, round 2 today.
I think
round 1's up. They said round 1 is up, is what.
So is 2.
Okay. Oh, and 2 just got up too. Okay, so I guess for the people that weren't following along online, give a little breakdown of what went down, because it seemed like it was pretty exciting final round there.
Man, I honestly, it's still kind of wild to me. We're going to the last round. I'm back 6 strokes from Joe Revere. For those of you who don't know who Joe Revere is, I think he's like anywhere from 45 to 47. But the dude is maybe one of the greatest players I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, no joke. He doesn't mess up. He makes every single putt, and he's like the most consistent player of all time. It's insane. Like, everyone from Colorado shakes whenever they see his name pop up, or whenever they're at a tournament with him. It's crazy. Then we had Meinsma on the card, Noah Meinsma. We had Evan Smith, and they were about 2 or 3 strokes ahead of me. So, I mean, I'm going into the day like I just need to shoot a good round, just maybe get a podium finish,
Yeah, you're not really thinking that winning is in is in contention. At what point does that kind of switch of where you're like, whoa, like I could actually win this thing? When does that start clicking?
I think after hole 5, actually. I started off pretty well, 4 down through 5, and I gained 2 strokes on Joe, I believe. So I was only 4 back. And we instead of playing the 27 holes that we did the first 2 rounds, we switched to the 18. So it's like 6 strokes in 18 holes is hard. I mean, in 27 it's tough, but even going to the 18 holes, it's even harder. So I just try to keep everything in the middle of the fairway. Like if you haven't played Blue Ribbon Pines, it's very tight. The wooded holes are very tight, and the open is fairly easy. So it's like if you're hitting your lines, you're going to score well out there.
I've heard a lot about that course. Do you have any idea why we haven't seen it on tour? Are you thinking it's just because, like what you're saying, it's too tight? It might be tough to film, tough to get spectators out there.
It's pretty soft course.
I mean, yeah, I would say it kind of reminds me scoring wise of like an Idlewild, or not Idlewild, a Waco kind of course.
Okay.
I don't think it suits like an Elite Plus event or even just an Elite Series event, but I think it's a very good A-tier course.
Gotcha. So a fun event to play kind of on an off week for everyone out there.
It's just one of the most like special and magical properties, I think, for disc golf.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Really are the non-tour events, are they still getting decent crowds showing up out there kind of watching?
Yeah, I mean there was probably 100 or so people out there, 100 or 200 the last day.
Nice. Yeah, I've heard a lot of things about the disc golf community in that area. They've got like insane amount of courses up there too. There's just so many courses all over the place. So makes sense for them to want to come out and see some good disc golf. So break us down kind of a little bit like how the last few holes went. Yuli kind of alluded a little bit, or I guess Brad kind of alluded a little bit earlier, how they might not have been the most lefty friendly holes. So how was that kind of challenge coming down the stretch?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll kind of start where I left off earlier. I was down 4 after like hole 5, and I think we get to like 9 or 10, and I miss 2 like 25 footers for birdie, and Joe makes both of them. So now he's back up 6 strokes again. So everything got erased of what I just worked hard to get done. And then we kind of make our way into the back 9 stretch, kind of where it starts getting everything into the open. We play 1 par 4 over a pond that leads out into the open. I gain 1 stroke on him there. And there's a signature hole that Ray Jordan has out there. It's called Poli Poli. And he designed it after his visit to Hawaii. And it's a 240-foot island hole. And if the island's probably 25 feet wide max on a 240-foot shot. So it's like you step up to it, you're like, well, this could change the entire tournament right here. You don't make the island, then you're going to be down 2 strokes. Joe ended up going long on that hole, and I get a little squeaker out, put it about 2 feet short of the island, and magically get a little bounce roll right in. So now I'm sitting pretty good. Missed the putt, unfortunately. Where everything kind of changed was the next hole. If you've ever seen the driving range hole out there, it's a long par 4 that literally just has 100 feet, 200, 300 feet, so on up to 700 feet. Joe 3-putted that hole for birdie. So he went from a birdie to a bogey. And I've never seen him miss a putt from within 40 feet before. So that kind of surprised me a little bit. I got not lucky, but I put my shot within about 20 feet, canned the birdie. And at that point, I was only 1 stroke back.
Are you guys playing on the same card too at this point?
The what?
Are you guys on the same card? Are you able to see in real time what's going on?
Yeah, we're on lead card together.
Okay. All right. So that's adding probably a little pressure to the situation.
At the same time, Noah and Evan started off well too, but then they kind of fizzled out the same. They were making mistakes, throwing an OB. So they kind of just left it open for me to kind of sneak my way back in up there to the top to be in contention.
So coming down, it was basically just you or Joe at that point.
Well, honestly, just for lead card, I'd say, because chase card they had 2 ballers over there with Jaden and Luke Taylor coming up, and they were within 1 or 2 strokes the entire round.
Oh, wow.
So I'm just there looking at my phone every single hole, seeing what they were doing, making sure that I was okay. I'm 1 stroke back still, 1 stroke back still. Okay, I'm just checking every single time we made a mistake or if we birdied or whatever was happening.
Oh, wow. And then, yeah, and then how did it kind of the last couple holes go down?
Man, yeah, 16. We'll start on 16. 16 is one of the easier holes. I believe it's called the shack hole, and it's about 256 feet. It's pretty much a do or die birdie. Like, you have to birdie this hole. Our entire card parred the hole. We all we all chumped up. Joe hit early. I threw it to like 30 feet, missed the putt. Granted, it was very windy that day. Like, the entire weekend was just super hot, super humid, super windy. So anything outside like 30 feet for felt like 50 feet.
Yeah.
I really where I succeeded most this past weekend was putting everything like 20 feet, 25 feet and making those putts. Hole 17, I'm still back 1. 17, for you guys that know, is called the cake hole. And that's where they have the 3 tiers up to the basket with the rocks and the mulch. Joe and I both throw good shots out the tee, and the hole's only about 480 feet. So it's a very short par 4, but it's very treacherous just because of the tiers. If you hit a rock wrong, you might roll outside the circle, or, you just never know what's going to happen. I got a little cocky and tried going for the top tier, which you should never do on that hole. Hit a rock, rolled back to about 25 feet. Joe threw it to the left about 30 feet. And that was kind of when I thought that my tournament was over, honestly. Joe went first. And ever since he 3-putted, I saw his confidence just completely leave his body, it seemed like. Like, he just seemed off after the driving range hole. And he just steps up and cans it dead center. I'm like, yep, this is Joe. This is what we're used to seeing out of this guy, because he just has that killer instinct. So now I'm just shaking over a 22-footer like, I have to make this right now. And luckily it went in. So I'm still back 1 stroke going into the last hole, which I think 27 at BRP is maybe, to me, one of the coolest finishing holes in disc golf.
Really?
So, I mean, anything can happen on this hole. It's 310 feet, I believe, but the island is maybe 45 feet wide, 50 feet wide. And I have to go first. I'm like, of course, I have to be the win dummy for everybody. It's a raging right to left. There's about 120 people behind on the deck just watching. It's just like, this is the moment to attack. Pulled out a quake, threw it perfect, threw it to 20 feet. I'm like, all right, here we go. We're applying the pressure. And then Joe throws out a massive curveball at me, lays it up short, doesn't want anything to do with going for the island. And I believe at that moment, he didn't want to lose the tournament, right? I think he would rather just play it for par, make me earn the birdie to force the playoff, rather than him throwing from the tee pad and losing the tournament going out of bounds, which I thought was a good idea. But, it worked out well for him. He got the par. I had, honestly, the nerviest putt I've ever felt in my life. I'm walking up to this 20-footer. Everyone's watching me, hands shaking like this, like I'm shivering. I don't even know what's happening. Pretty much blacking out, which was funny. Yeah, made the putt. And I'm like, all right, here we go. Playoff time with one of the best players I've ever seen in my life.
Brody's gone. So you make the putt. So what was the playoff hole? Hole 1? Did they do an aggregate hole 1, 18, hole 1?
Yeah, we did. Well, yeah, 1 in 18, 18's 27. So we're going hole 1, which is a 340-foot starting hole, and then going straight into the island hole.
And so you still have the tee box?
No, so we ended up flipping for who went first.
And he won?
I won the flip, but I made him go first. I'm like, I want him to set the tone. I don't want to go first, hit a tree, throw a bad shot. I want to see what he does to put the pressure on me. And what do you think he did?
Parked it.
Absolutely parked it. put it to 3 feet away. I'm like, of course he did. This is where it's over. I'm like, well, it's whatever. And when the wind's gusting, when I throw my sidearm with a nuke, juiced it as hard as I possibly could by accident, because I just have so much adrenaline pumping in me right now. Threw it, I think, about 30 feet long.
Oh wow, it's pretty far.
It is. I mean, it's a tricky hole. I stepped up to that putt, or I was walking. The entire walk to that shot was just like, you haven't made a 30-footer all day.
Yeah.
It's like, what do I do?
I forgot how to putt.
Literally, I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen right now. I'm like, I can't lose the tournament with a doink job, you know? I don't want to leave it short. And I putted it, felt good. Wasn't a perfect putt, I'll be honest. It was not perfect whatsoever. It was about 3 inches to the right, but it caught. I'm like, here we go. This is it.
Yeah.
This is the moment.
So you go to 18 and he's got to go first again.
Go back to the island hole.
Yeah, 27.
But there's a new PDGA rule now where you have to flip-flop the order. So
now, that's right.
And I step up there with my Quake. Granted, I have not missed the island on this hole with this disc, and the farthest I've been was 20 feet, which was what I threw to make the playoff. So I just have all the confidence in the world going into this hole, which I think was huge for me.
Yeah.
Same wind, right to left wind. I'm like, just throw it hard, same line every single time. Took a deep breath. I let it go. Just looked absolutely perfect out of the hand. Disc lands in the grass 7 feet away from the basket. I'm like, oh my gosh, here we go. This is awesome.
Yeah.
I just turned back, look at my caddy. I'm like, bro, this might be it.
Yeah.
I don't. Joe throws KC Rock, I believe. Just a beautiful hyzer flip. Just flips halfway to the basket. It does this. Out of bounds to the right. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just won. You know?
Yeah.
So I literally I ran off the tee pad. He shook my hand. He said, nice tournament. That was it. I said, thanks. I ran off the tee pad. Apparently he threw another shot behind me. Didn't even know he threw another shot. He threw another shot because he took 2 discs to the tee pad, and I guess he just wanted to see where the other one would have gone.
Yeah.
So technically he's throwing 3 from that tee pad.
Yeah.
And missed the island again.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just walking up there with all these emotions, walking up to the green, hats off, rubbing all the sweat, you know, trying not to cry because I haven't, you know, done something like that in a long time.
Yeah.
Luckily I didn't cry, so that was good. I'm just waiting for him to go from the drop zone, and he's like, yeah, I concede. I threw an extra shot. I'm like, what are you talking about? You threw an extra shot? He's like, yeah, I threw one. I'm like, I didn't even see it, dude.
So you just walk up and tap in, and it's over.
That was it. Tapped in the 7-footer, and it was over. I blacked out after that.
That's the wildest story. Well, congratulations. So obviously the injury that you had, because that was a big deal for you. You missed a few tournaments over an injury that just kind of popped out of nowhere, to where you could, you know, we're staying together and you can't even like open your hand and stuff. So over the last couple months, has it been a month or 2 months, huh?
I think I was out for about a month. Yeah.
About a month. And it was like excruciating pain, bad, out of nowhere type thing. And then you rehabbed it. Now, do you feel 100%? I mean, obviously you're playing great. You just won the tournament, but what was that like, kind of coming off that injury?
Man, like honestly, I didn't even know if I was going to be able to play the preserve. It started feeling better after Portland, and all it like. There's a lot of pain in my wrist, but a lot of it came from my forearm and my elbow being too tight. So it was pulling that super long tendon from your elbow down to your hand and just putting all that pressure right here on my wrist. So I thought it was like a really serious wrist problem, but it ended up just being everything was just too tight and pulling that tendon down. So all the pain was just going to my wrist. So I did so much stuff for it. I was taking, ibuprofen. I was putting CBD cream on it, and I was putting icy hot on it. I was rolling it out with whatever I had. I was massage gunning, doing stretches, everything for it. Like I even got arthritis cream for it because I didn't know what was happening.
Yeah.
So I was doing a lot of things for it, just making sure I was, not using it as much. I was wearing a wrist sleeve. But yeah, that was kind of scary for me because my career's had a lot of weird and strange injuries to it. So I'm like, what if this is another one that's going to take me out for another season,
Yeah, especially having the great start that you've had this season. I mean, you already have a second place finish this season. You're sitting, I believe, top 20 in the standings. So you've had a really consistent year, and then all of a sudden you couldn't play a few tournaments. Come back, have a solid showing at the Preserve, and then win this one. So moving forward, is it like nothing happened, or where's your head at as far as the rest of the season goes?
I should be fine. It just gets sore, so I have to make sure I warm it up very well before any kind of round I do, whether it's a practice round, a tournament round. Even if I'm going to the gym, I just got to make sure my wrist is just nice and warmed up. For like the first 15 shots, it feels like I'm being hit with a hammer in my wrist, but then it's weird, it just magically goes away, and it never comes back. I had pain all weekend, so that's good.
That's awesome. Yeah.
It's really just whenever I start throwing it, like immediately.
How's Iowa for the lefties? You like it?
I've done pretty well at this course.
So all right.
Yeah.
There's a couple of nice holes for lefties.
Nothing too crazy. I got 7th last year at the tournament.
Wow. Okay.
So I'm hoping to hopefully do the same or better.
Yeah, there you go.
What's your Europe plans looking like?
I'm going to the 2 majors.
Okay. So just heading over for 2 weeks and then coming back?
Yep.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, it should be exciting. These next couple of weeks of disc golf, it's going to heat up pretty good. So should be, it's good that you're back healthy and kind of getting a couple tournaments under your belt before we head over for those 2 majors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. I haven't been to Europe since 2017, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was the year. I think Yuli remembers the year I got hit in the side of the face with a disc before warming up for the European Open.
Got concussed.
Yeah. Oh. Had a concussion. I got 3 stitches right here in my face. They called the ambulance to the course, and they wanted to take me to the hospital. I told them no, I'm playing the tournament.
Was that at that little football field, that little soccer field down there?
Yep. So that's down those stairs all the way at the bottom.
Yeah.
They said.
Was someone just chucking discs from the other side and it drilled you, or what?
Yeah. Well, no one said anything, and I just hear like a moan sound, and I turn, and as soon as I turn, the disc hits the side of my head.
Oh.
But they said they could hear the disc hit my skull from hole 1's tee pad.
Jeez.
Yeah, there was actually at the Preserve, there was a guy that got drilled and just was like showing up to like Seth's tent, and just like blood was running down his face, and I was like, oh my. And that's, I think, when they started like getting like a spotter out there to like tell you when to throw and when not to throw, because it is my first year coming out and trying to figure out how to warm up. I couldn't believe you guys did this for as long as you did. It's chaotic. Like, you got people throwing both ways. Discs are flying all over the place. I was like, what the heck? This is sketchy.
Yeah, it's not the greatest system that they have for that, but it works, I guess.
Muted? Bad service again, Brody?
I'm muted? Can you hear me?
Oh, there you go.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah, I'm on my cellular right now. I'm having to hotspot because I guess the Airbnb Wi-Fi just decided I've been using too much of it.
Austin, did you hear Brad's little interview or no?
Yeah, I watched it, and I'm like, there's no way this dude's doing this podcast in the casino right now.
At the car, he answered. He got on at the card table. He was sitting there.
That's the most Brad thing of all time.
He tried to give away the story. I was like, hey, hold on. We got a hot boy coming on here soon.
I got to ask you, because you're wearing it, where does that trophy kind of like, how do you like the wearable trophies? Where do you stand on it?
I think this is sweet.
Yeah.
I honestly think this is top 3 or 5 like creativeness. It's also like, I mean, it's a hockey jersey. It's a real hockey jersey, you know. So it's just cool. Like I can wear it. You know, I don't watch hockey a lot, but I guess I have to now.
Okay.
I don't know. Like this, like to me, like I love sports, and this is just super creative and just something that's fun for everybody to have. You know.
Do you get like a medal or anything like that, or is it just the jersey?
Just the jersey.
Okay, and your name on the plaque. They have a giant.
Okay,
plaque.
so you do have they do have like a main trophy that you basically get your name engraved. That's sick. I like that.
They have like a 3.5 foot like wooden Minnesota cutout, and it has every single winner etched into like this metal sheet that's on the Minnesota trophy.
Yeah, that's sick.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think when done well, wearable trophies like that. I think even like the Open at Austin with the cowboy hat, like I think that's something that over time will start people will definitely like that. Oh, there it is. Yeah, look at that thing. Sheesh. Yeah, that's pretty sick. Where do they keep that? Do they have like a clubhouse or something like at the course?
Yeah, at the Blue Ribbon Pines Pro Shop, I believe.
Okay, so they do have someone that can just put it up there. That's sick. Yeah, I like that. Not every tournament does that, because obviously, if everyone started just giving out jackets and jerseys and all that stuff, I think it wouldn't be as unique. But that is something. I mean, Brad was talking about it. That's something that I think people, when they go and they play that tournament, they know what they're playing for, and that's something that kind of gives you a little bit more eagerness to go out there and try to get it done.
I think these are cool too because they change the color every year. So every year is a different color.
Oh, it's not the same one.
You should see how Brad's jersey fits him though.
We saw a little photo of it, of him, his winning. Yeah, people were commenting it kind of looked like a dress a little bit on him.
Really cute in it.
Yeah. I might have to go up there just to see what the hoopla is of that course. Everyone keeps talking about how sick that course is. So
it's fun.
And there's 27 holes, which is kind of nice too, because you can, maybe go out and play. Do they all loop around? Could you play 9 or 18 if you wanted to, or do you kind of get stuck way out there?
Yeah, they have so many different kind of layouts out there that you could play, 18 different loops if you wanted to. Everything.
And a lot of them wrap around so they have the clubhouse, and then in the middle of the course they have like a little beer / hot dog shack, and it wraps around like the little hot dog shack, so you can always kind of be within the vicinity of grabbing a little snack or a beer.
Oh, I love that.
Cool. Yeah,
that's sick. That's what disc golf needs more of. They need more like cool places where you can hang out after your rounds and stuff. Yeah. So I mean, how's the game feeling going into this weekend? You got 7th place last year. What are we feeling? What are we feeling like this week?
The cool thing about sports is that you never know how you're going to perform, right?
Yeah.
But the game's feeling really good. Everything's very consistent. Sorry, Jerm, speaking on a megaphone right now. I got to close that door. You know how loud he is. Yeah, I mean, everything feels good. The one thing I'd like to improve more and more this season is my putting. I'm throwing the disc very, very, very well right now. I'm putting myself in a lot of good positions off the tee. I just need to capitalize more on those putts, and I feel like I'll be in contention more and more throughout the year.
Is the putting? Do you think that's more of a mechanical thing, or is that a mental thing?
Probably a little bit of both. I'd say my mental confidence right now is at an all-time high. But I'm sure it's definitely still there, in the back of my head. But definitely just a little bit of mechanical wise. I need to work on a couple things just to make it come out a little cleaner.
Yeah, I think a lot of people listening to this podcast, that is probably something that, putting is probably one of the biggest struggles, I would say, with the majority of people that play disc golf, right? You don't really hear too many times it's rare when someone's like, I'm really good at putting, but I can't get off the tee. That I think is more the minority, where most people, they can throw good shots. They just can't get the disc into the basket. And so that is something where I think, guys listening to this podcast, like even, top, I think you're actually 17th right now in the standings. That's something that top players are still working on and trying to figure out. It's not I don't think it's ever something where you're like, I got it figured out. I don't need to do anything. I think everyone's tweaking and adjusting.
I mean, I'll give you 2 examples. Music City Open, when I got second, I missed 11 or 12 putts inside the circle that tournament, and I lost by 3. And then I missed I think 13 inside the circle this past weekend.
Oh wow!
Just the perspective of how well I was throwing the disc.
Yeah, and I think too that is a big thing of where people that are throwing the disc really well, they have a higher potential of missing more putts, right?
Well, you got more looks.
Yeah, you're putting 20 times inside the circle instead of some people that are only putting 5.
Yeah.
So that's where I think that's where the percentages I think matter a little bit more, because if you're like, I missed 7 inside the circle, but you took 50, you're doing better than the guy only missed 2 that took 4, So Yuli, you got anything else, brother?
No, that's it, man. Thanks for coming on, Austin. Congrats on the win.
Congratulations. Hopefully, do you know if has league cards and stuff? I feel like you would probably be on a featured card, right? You would think.
Man,
I talk to you about that.
This place is Discmania heaven, and all the Spurs and all the Babcocks and all the clowns. So they'll probably put me on like a 10:30 a.m. card if I had to guess.
Okay, fair enough. But yeah, definitely come out. Watch Austin if you guys are coming out. One of the you have to be the best lefty on tour now, right? Have you?
Of course.
I feel like that is now in stone, or is there another lefty out there that you got your eye on? You're locked in, number 1. There you go. Come out, watch the number 1 lefty in the world take on the Des Moines Challenge this weekend.
And you can check out his dub on YouTube if you're bored.
Yeah,
and you're
should be coming out.
Stuff to watch.
Should be coming out tomorrow, maybe.
I know last time I was on here, I talked about ratings and you hated it. So I'm gonna bring up
ratings, yeah, but you can talk about it if you want.
Currently, right now, I've tied Devin Owens' highest rated lefty of all time.
Oh,
so that's kind of what I'm trying to beat for the next update, to be the highest of all time.
There you go. See, I don't mind people going after and going for that if it's like personal stuff. I think it's just when we start using ratings as commentators or analysts or anything like that, when we start using ratings, that's when I don't like it. But if it's like you have a personal thing of like, hey, I want to be the highest lefty rated, I think that's fine. I think that's good. I just don't know if I would want the announcers to be like, oh, did you know Austin Turner is the highest rated lefty of all time? I'd rather be like, did you know he just won his last tournament? He got 7th at this tournament last year.
He's the best player in the world left-handed.
He's playing really well. Yeah, that's what I want to hear. So.
Topic of conversation.
Well, good luck with that. And good luck this weekend, brother. I'll probably see you out there at some point. And enjoy that fit. Any chance that you
have you taken it up since you won? Now you gotta ask.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Well, I did sleep in it, and I spilled some liquid on it. Here, we'll give a little fit check. Dude, it fits me perfect.
Oh yeah,
it's pretty nice. You can wear it with jeans. I mean, you're gonna have to go to a game at some point too.
I lost you.
I said you're gonna have to go to an actual game with that on. People are gonna love.
Oh,
that.
I know. Yeah, listen. I already have plans to go back up to Minnesota this off season and go ice fishing. So I'm sure I'll probably have a hockey game at some point.
There you go.
Perfect. All right, brother. Appreciate you hopping on. Good luck this weekend, my man.
See you guys.
All right, later, my dude. All right. I think I don't know when Big Jerm is planning on getting on, Yuli.
He was on the microphone there, so probably not for a while.
Not for a little bit. So we'll wait a little bit. I think now's the best time. I mean, let's talk a little bit. We'll recap the women's major just a little bit. If we can kind of talk about what went down. I mean, impressive stuff from Evelina. Now, there were some stats. I don't know if Gary or Edwin can get it. I think some people were kind of misled. There was maybe by the commentary. Evelina's putting has actually gotten worse this year than last year, Yuli.
Yeah.
Her putting percentage has dropped inside the circle. But with that being said, she still throws the disc so dang well. It really doesn't matter all that much with how good she is throwing off the tee. She's getting to tons and tons of baskets that other players just aren't even able to get to. But it's one of those things where she needs other people to not play well to win because of her putting. And I got to just go through the final hole. Haley King, I don't know what the decision-making was on that final hole. It made no sense to me.
Yeah.
With going massive big on the second shot, that made no sense. And if I'm Haley, I'm thinking to myself, I need to force Evelina to make a putt to win.
For sure.
Right?
Without a doubt.
Because even at the World Championship, the same thing.
Listen, I was sketched out about where she was.
Yes.
If Haley makes the putt just down the hill, it's not a guarantee that Evelina makes that.
Yeah, Yuli, do you agree with me too? 99% of pros just makes the putt that Evelina has.
Yeah.
From 15 feet, like 99% of pros are just stepping up and making that putt.
Yeah.
They're not laying it up because they know they can lay up to win. You know, that
for
just
the World Championship, I'm probably laying it up.
Maybe for the World Championship, sure. But my point is, like, that just shows you, like, Evelina doesn't want to have to make that putt.
Yeah.
Like when Haley misses, she's so happy that she doesn't want to have to make that putt. So I think that was just a crucial mistake by Haley on that final hole to not force her to have to beat you. Because granted, Evelina did make some big putts down the stretch that I was like, wow, that was like, all right, slightly impressive.
Well, she was out of it kind of for the longest time. She was pretty far back of the lead.
Yes.
And then by making the big putts, she applied a little pressure, and you could see that now everybody's like, oh, she's making putts. Like, what the heck's going on here? Mm-hmm. And then I thought she almost 3-putted on 17 up the hill to really get the 1-stroke lead.
Mm-hmm.
Hit it high off the top, goes a little deep. I was like, how far did that go? Oh, no. But I like that she putted it aggressively. I mean, the fact that she made a couple really, 25, 30 footers down the stretch, that was impressive. But I think you're right. People have to play bad. But I also think that typically they do play bad, especially on woody courses.
They give her the chance to do it.
The harder the course, the better chance Evelina has to win.
Agreed.
And so that's why she's a major killer. And I think I have a comparison that I bet a lot of people aren't going to like, but I think I can compare Isaac to Evelina in a way, because the major championships come around, the world championships, and typically they're pretty tough. There's a lot of OB everywhere, and everybody thinks that you have to go super low. And he's consistently in the fairway, making his putts, not making any mistakes. It's almost boring golf the way that he plays those. No pressure. And Evelina, it seems like, kind of gets the job done in a similar way. She's always in the never going really out of bounds. Her mistakes are on the putting green, which is not fun to watch, but she borings it out of me because she throws so good right down the middle every single time.
Yeah.
And so the harder the course, I feel like she's got to be the favorite every single time.
I mean, like, especially with Kristen's looking off. Kristen looks off.
Great.
No.
And the World Championships taught us a lot of stuff last year. That they lengthen the course a little bit. They add a bunch of OB. Evelina's the person. And we argued a little bit last year. Well, Kristen's just a little bit off and blah, 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 blah. No, the big moments, some people are just made for those moments. Like, she's nervous. She can't make a putt. But it is almost like a I don't care type of personality. You know what I mean? To where there's like no pressure, because if she misses every putts and loses, who cares? You know what I mean?
People are expecting her to do that.
Like Isaac kind of gives me the same feeling. Like if he gets 30th place at the Worlds next year, I don't feel like anybody's really going to care.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends a little bit on how he plays, but yeah, I mean, he hasn't. I think it's because he hasn't really established himself in
I guess
tournaments outside.
It's a horrible comparison. I'm not articulating it very well. I think that there are, I'll rephrase it. I think that there are certain players that the major championships set up really well for. And Evelina in the FPO division is one of those people.
I think Evelina, I'm with you. I think if any course is set up that is not requiring, a bunch of 250-foot holes
100%.
that are requiring you to hit open gaps. Even
the
gap
tour
hitting.
does this a lot. The tour does this a lot to where they just shorten our course. It's kind of wide open and it's pretty big gaps. You go into a very wooded spot, a very wooded place. The precision player is going to play the best. And they had that super wooded place. And I was listening to interviews afterwards, and there wasn't one person that was like, oh, I love this course. They were all saying it's a fluke fest and blah, 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 blah. Well, it's not a fluke fest when the best thrower in your division then wins the tournament.
Yeah, and they're not putting well. So clearly,
and they're missing.
Clearly it was very important with putting. Yeah.
And I think, like I said, I think Isaac's game sets up really well for the World Championships. It's typically tighter. There's more pressure. 430-foot shots on a dime are priceless.
Yep. Let's start actually at the bottom of the leaderboard and work our way up, because there's a couple of names I want to call out. Very disappointing performance by Paige. Very, obviously she's been at Bonnaroo, so I don't know how much practice she's been getting in, but starting the, you can't shoot 9 over in round one and win a major, right? So she ended up finishing 17 over par for the tournament. And, I'm not going to look too much into her other rounds, because once you shoot 9 over, you're kind of like,
yeah, you're cooked.
Yeah, she's just like, I'm out of it, right? So it seemed like Paige was kind of trending upwards, so I was excited to kind of see maybe she was getting back into it. I don't think this course
really set up well for the FPO division in general.
Yeah, maybe I think
it's set up for an absolute mental breakdown.
It's
judging by the course.
Yeah, it's just a major, so I would have liked to have seen more from her. Other names, I mean, Sayananda, we haven't seen her do much this year, but she shot 11 over, finishing in 37th. Missy Gannon did at least battle back a little bit. She also, I mean, just a terrible first round, shooting 8 over par, but ended up shooting under par the last 3 days. So, one of those things of, I don't think she was playing her best this week, but that's another name that you expect to be kind of towards the top of the leaderboard in the FPO division.
Like this, yeah.
Yep. And then some other names that kind of pop out. Henna, we got to talk about Henna. Another person that was throwing the disc so well. She missed 5 circle 1 putts and 5 C2 putts the final round. Ended up shooting 4 over par. I mean, you look at that, Henna shoots 3 under Yuli, and she's tied for the lead. That's tough. Silva just looked like 2, didn't have her best A game, finishing a few strokes out of the lead. Nice to see Emily Weatherman back up there, though, Yuli. We kind of discussed a little bit of that, right? So that was nice to kind of see her making a little bit of a jump back up. And then I mean, what's going on with Kristen here? Because now this is a couple tournaments of whether she's winning or not, we haven't seen the dominance that we are used to seeing with her. We're seeing her miss putts that we're not used to her seeing. We're seeing her kind of be, I don't know, fluffy upshots, just stuff that we're not used to seeing. Anything to read into?
I mean, I was worried about this. I kept telling you, like, I don't care what she does at the other tournaments because the majors are coming. And majors here, majors gone. She made a nice little push.
She made a nice push, but like,
It's like how many times? How many
putts? She missed 5 putts inside the circle the final round.
When you put on your analyst hat, it's hard to keep giving people because it sucks because I'm a player still. I'm out there playing all the time, so it's hard to give a real honest opinion, which I try to do. But it always comes by as rash. I really like Kristen as a player. It's one of the best things that's happened to our sport in a long time. When saying that, though, like you can't just keep giving these people excuses.
Yeah,
like the field's getting better. I think that is real. Silva's Silva's coming out of nowhere, and she's been putting pressure on her the whole entire season.
I don't know if I would say better. Like, I don't know if there's
just the fact that Silva's in the field.
I think
competing
it's
in America. The field's better.
I think it's deeper. I think deeper is the correct terminology. I wouldn't say
okay. I mean, deeper like that
because Silva doesn't have a forehand. You know what I'm saying? Like there still
doesn't matter. Silva's really good.
No, I know, but I think deeper's. I don't think Silva is better than Kristen was at her peak. That's what I'm saying. I don't think people have gotten better than Kristen, and now Kristen's like I think there's just more people that can shoot well. And when Kristen has an off round or an off tournament, she's not winning anymore like she was.
But it goes back to like us talking last year to where I'm like, dude, she doesn't play well when she's behind. Like she doesn't.
That is
what I'm saying. And when you have a deeper field and you're not in first place, like it's been tough because you like, I guess, deeper field, but I would still say better field because I don't care if there's 100 people there. There's only going to be a handful of people at the top anyway. And
but what I'm saying is there's more people now that can pop off.
A chance. Yeah, have a chance.
Like Silva is another person now that can play really well. I think Holland Hanley is also established that her best can beat everyone as well,
Yeah, but
I mean you gotta look at Cadence too. Cadence now, I mean, you cannot. I do want to shout out Holland though, because she did battle back to get top 5 again. I mean, she's a top 5. She hasn't missed.
She's an animal.
Really. She hasn't missed top 5 all the time. I'm sure she's probably a little bummed with her performance, but top 5. But we got to talk about Cadence too, because Cadence, Cadence might actually be the future here, because she's young. She's looking like she's developing not just skills, but more power. And she's becoming super consistent. Just looking at these last couple tournaments that she's played, she got second at Kansas City Wide Open. She got third at Preserve, and now second at this major. These are, I mean, she's had some really, really great tournaments. And this is someone too that when you watch her play, Yuli, I get the feeling that she doesn't like losing and she is wanting to get better. Like she's not satisfied of, oh, wow, like my play right now, I can get top 5s. I can finish. It seems like she might be the one, and maybe Silva's in there too. But I think that this like next generation of younger players, I think these are the people that are going to push the FPO field further. I
agree. Yeah.
So I mean, I like seeing it. She did have a couple slip ups down the stretch there that she could have. She ended up parring
when you're first attempt or first time being in contention at major. Nerves are probably going to get to you.
Yeah. Anyone else to discuss FPO?
Yeah. Haley King.
Okay,
she's the real deal. Like so who cares about the last hole? It's a major that happens.
Yeah, no,
I don't care about that. What I care about is she's good, dude.
I've never said she hasn't. It's always a mental. It's always the mental.
Absolutely. But I'm just saying, like, we have this King of the Hill thing, and she's been teetering because she's played now 3 times.
Yep.
In contention almost every day. I don't know how she did actually in Minnesota.
Did she play?
Did she play? It might not have been good.
Let me look.
Oh, 10, 6 second. Yeah, like this. No, Haley King is
she's only played 4 events. She's top 10 all of them, and
she's the actual real deal nobody's talking about. So let's put that on radar because she does have the sidearm, she does have the back end, she has the putt, and she has wins under her belt. Once she figures it out, she has been battling some injuries here and there. Once she figures that out, like I'm telling you, she's the real deal. She just is.
If you do the we've done this before, I think on the off season, will sometimes Silas will black out a player, and so you just see them. You just see like their outline, right? You can see their body, but you don't have any idea what it is. If you were able to do that with Haley King for her backhand, her forehand, and her putt, you would just say that this is the best FPO player. Yeah. For sure. Absolutely. Right. Yeah. Like just watching her throw, watching her putt, but it's just all between the ears with Haley. It's all between the ears. And I've never have gotten the killer instinct from her. Like I don't get that. I don't get I'm just going to go out and freaking take this thing because I'm better than everyone. And I get that with Evelina. I get that with Kristen.
See, I think you're wrong. I think she does have it.
Really?
I really do.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't see
she called a foot fault on Emily. She wants to win at all costs, bro.
No, I don't know.
You gotta be if you're willing to do that, you gotta be like a savage, dude. I'm telling you. She wants to win.
I guess what I'm saying is I don't think it's not like she doesn't want to win. I just think I've seen where something doesn't go her way. Maybe there's a better way of saying it. Something doesn't go her way. She'll like put her head down and just
in a sport.
But she's always been like that, Yuli. At what point do you grow out of that? I guess that's my point. Is it the same thing?
That's what I'm waiting for. That's why I'm saying look out. Yes, that's exactly. I guess we're saying the same thing. I'm saying
you think it's still potential to happen.
Absolutely. You put yourself in enough positions like this and you lose by 1 on the last hole over and over and you're that good, eventually you're going to figure it out. I mean, we're seeing it with Silva right now.
Yeah, but Silva never gave me I don't know. Those two, like their personalities are very different.
Very different. I'm just saying.
Silva just had to slay the
learning curve. It's still the same learning curve.
Maybe.
Whether it's one skill you got to get over or another one, it's still a skill. I don't know.
All right. Well, we've come to the point where
we have 22.
When I was the age thing, that's not young. Stop it. You're completely out of college.
She's got a long time to figure it out, my guy.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But what I'm saying is if you haven't learned it at the age of 22, that doesn't bode me to be like, oh, you're out of college. At 22, people are out of college. People are growing up at that point. I don't think you can say this is a freshman at 18 or 19. That's all I'm saying.
When we make our picks, I'm picking Haley this week, just so you know.
Okay, that's fine. Before we get to the picks, I don't want to have to do this, okay? I was having a nice cushy job over here. I was able to just talk about disc golf. We could just keep it on the course and leave it at that. And, bad trophies could be flying around. People could tweet me and Instagram me bad trophies, and I could just let it slide. I could just push it under the rug and just forget about it and live in retirement over here and be happily ever after. And then the U.S. Women's Disc Golf Championship, a major, decided to potentially make the worst trophy I've ever seen. When every comment on the Disc Golf Pro Tour's Instagram and Facebook and Twitter is about the trophy and not about the person that just won the event, not about the winner, something is the issue. And I'm not talking about it's because the trophy was $100,000 and everyone's like, holy crap, that's the sickest trophy of all time. When I saw this trophy, I couldn't believe it. I know we had to deal with the ad of get morning wood. I know that we are dealing with a bunch of weird stuff right now with disc golf. I know Jimmy Fallon just came out with a really bad disc golf thing with Brad Pitt. I don't even know what those guys were doing. That was one of the weirdest things I've ever. It was one of the worst things I've ever seen. When we already have all this stuff going, the last thing you need to do, disc golf, is make a penis trophy for an FPO only event. The fact that there is not some sort of, like, the thing is, Yuli, is like, checks and balances were created by the beautiful nation that we stand foot in right now today. There is a reason our government has checks and balances, because at a point, someone said, hey, we need to make sure that we don't just push anything through. We need to make sure people look at stuff before we put it out. The fact that not only did this thing make it as the actual, how did this get to the actual trophy? That's the crazy thing. I really just don't understand how it was able to make it to be the actual trophy. How many people looked at this thing and said, yes. Yeah. I mean, the thing is too, Yuli, I'm sure this trophy was sitting on the table before the tournament started. The tournament director, a random mother of a spectator, someone, how did no one bring it up and say, do we think this is a good trophy? Do we think this is a good idea? And I mean, here's the thing. I just bought chocolate off of Amazon, Yuli, and it melted, right? I don't know. It sat out in the box on the delivery truck. Someone messed up, and it came to me, and I immediately said, this is not what I paid for. And what did I do? I immediately reached out to Amazon, and I said, give me a refund. I am not buying melted chocolate today. And they gave me a refund. If I'm the Disc Golf Pro Tour and I paid money
it's the PDGA,
to have someone,
right? Because it's a major.
If I'm the PDGA,
there you go. Yeah.
Even better. And I paid money to someone for someone to make this trophy, and this is what they showed, I would say to them, I'm not paying you, and I'm going to go and get another trophy. What are we doing? Mike, do we have the photo? He said 1 second. There's also a very damning Facebook response that I have to show. Man of the people, I have to show it. We'll bring, hopefully Mike, you can get, or Gary, someone give Mike that Facebook interaction. Because when I saw this too, because it's one thing too as an artist, Yuli. Okay, that's not the trophy we're looking for.
That's a sweet trophy though.
That is a sweet trophy. Okay. All right. A couple things. First one, Yuli. Lighthouses do not have veins. All right? Lighthouses do not have veins. Also, they don't have bases like that either. Also, they're not colored like that. There are so many things that are messed up with this trophy. And the thing is Evelina, she wants to probably display this trophy in her house. And now every single time someone comes over to her house, she has to discuss this trophy.
It's really bad. It's a really bad trophy. It's just really bad. Yeah.
Color it like a lighthouse, Yuli.
Yeah, that was my thing.
Color it like a lighthouse.
Color it like the lighthouse putting green that you guys have on the course. Make it the red and everything, and then I get it.
Yes,
it's tough.
I could still say it's a terrible trophy, but at least it's a lighthouse of the course or whatever. Do we have the text interaction here, Mike?
With who? Oh, good.
Oh, well, you'll see it pull up here once we have it. This when I saw this is when I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, it's a bad trophy. It's pretty bad.
So this was from I believe Facebook. It looks like, or maybe Instagram. Someone said, "So did you not realize this looked like a penis while you were making it?" Tina Oakley, who is the person that ended up making this, said in response, "Who doesn't love a good penis?" Yuli, when I saw this, the correct response here, Yuli, I mean, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? The correct response, Yuli, is, "Oh my goodness, I had no idea." Even if you have to lie, Yuli, even if you were making it and were thinking, "Oh my God, this looks like a penis."
I could interrupt you. There's two ways to respond.
Okay, go for
There's
it.
There's one of, oh my gosh, yeah. Which I really, 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 really have to give the benefit of the doubt to whoever makes a trophy for them not to try to make it like that what we think it is. Okay? I have to give the benefit of the doubt that mistakes were made. They did their best and it just didn't come out the way that they wanted it to come out. Unfortunate. Very unfortunate. And then in response, you can say, you can admit defeat and say, "Hey man, not my best work. Didn't think about it like that. My mind isn't always in the gutter. I was trying to make a good lighthouse.
I was trying to make a great lighthouse. I'm an amateur potter. I'm not a professional."
Yes.
This is my first time making a lighthouse.
Which I'm guessing.
I apologize.
I'm hoping, I won't say I'm guessing, I'm hoping that is 100% the case. Which logically we have to think that that's the case. Okay.
I don't think I can't.
I know you're not going to agree.
I'm looking at the response.
I'm playing the other side. I'm playing the other side right now. Just hear me out. Okay.
Okay. I'm listening.
Then in response to something like that,
I mean,
those other trophies are dope, by the way. I like that. Look at the lighthouse on the trophy.
Looks nothing like the other one.
Yeah. Then you have two ways to respond to somebody like that. You can do it in a comedic way, which I feel like she did, or you can admit defeat and be like, "I'm an amateur potter. It didn't come out the way that I thought. I got the okay from a lot of people who were telling me that it looked great and it went through the proper, I'm just the maker, you know."
Yeah, go with the who was the she bangs.
Yeah.
Who is that? From American Idol. William Hung. Yes. William Hung. Go the William Hung. People have told me my whole life I'm a great potter. I make the greatest mugs. You wouldn't believe the vases that I can make.
For sure.
And you know what? Turns out lighthouses are tough. Lighthouses are tough. You can just go that route. The route she went made it seem like
that's a better lighthouse, I feel like. Barely.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it's better.
It's whatever. The thing is all you guys listening and all you guys that pay for your PDGA membership, you guys are paying for this. This is what you're paying for. The PDGA is paying for this.
Is that a bug on it?
It's whatever you want it to be, Yuli, at this point. But I mean,
that's what I'm saying. So I don't mind the comedic aspect of it, of being like, let it slide off her back and it's fine.
It's just, the thing is like, at the end of the day, if I'm entering a tournament for free and I have no involvement and I end up winning the tournament and they give me a crappy trophy, I'm like, whatever. I didn't pay for anything. But we're paying the PDGA to put these tournaments on, and they're going out and spending money that could be going to other things, Yuli. Could be going to growing the game, baskets for PE classes. It could be going to a whole bunch of stuff. So the thing is, if you're going to pay for a trophy, by golly, let's just make it not look like a penis. You know what I'm saying? Like that
kind of
that
tough
is where
lighthouse kind of tough, kind of a tough make.
That is where the floor is for me.
If I had to make a lighthouse out of pottery, I don't think
that's all you have to do. Is
shape
just don't make a trophy look like a human genital. Well. That's all I'm asking. That is the floor of the PDGA right now. Get a trophy that doesn't look like a human genital. Can't wait for the World's Trophy. It's just going to be like two big cantaloupes. Two big cantaloupes with like little nubs on the end. It's what the World's Trophy is.
Mistakes like this have been made all over the place. There's like, you go on like
normally it's people like sneak it in. Normally they sneak in like little things. Like they're purposely doing it and no one catches it. This was on the table of the tournament. Everyone saw this before the tournament and no one thought, hey, let's just throw this thing in a fire and go down the street and buy an actual trophy. All right. Do we have Big Jerm? We need a segue off of this. The fact that, I mean, the thing is too, Yuli, I was coming in this and I was thinking it was the Disc Golf Pro Tour. I should have known. It was the PDJ.
It's amazing.
You know why? They were on vacation, Yuli. That's why. They were all on freaking vacation. That's why this was able to be the trophy. How much money do we have to pay for someone to look at a trophy and be like, that doesn't look right. Let's get another one.
Let's do our picks.
Okay, we're going to picks. All right, is this the Mike? Is this
updated?
Is this the updated picks?
Looks like it. It's got big broads on the bottom.
I'm not on this.
I see your face.
Oh, I'm on the dollar. I mean, everyone's $1, right? So
you got $1.
But I'm there on $1. All right, so let's see.
Oh, and we don't even say this. You know what the chat can do? You can take your picks, put them in the chat, and then see how you do next week too.
Yeah. I like that.
You guys can play against us, and
against.
We need more competition, is what I'm trying to get at. Like, I need some of you guys in the chat to step up, because who we are playing are absolute amateur pickers.
Oh, we got Big Jerm now, so we're gonna have to do picks after Big Jerm. Big Jerm coming in. Cowboy hat. Talking about trophies here. Did you win that as a trophy?
Actually, real quick shout out to Eagles Crossing, Isaac from Eagles Crossing. This is a. Are you guys hearing me okay? Because I know my service is not great.
Can you hear you okay for right now? Yeah.
Yep. Bad service?
I can hear you.
Well, we can hear you. Can you hear us? You might not be able to hear us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm honestly this RV park in Des Moines has always been pretty spotty on service.
Oh no, he's in Des Moines. Wait,
we can hear you. We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna call back on my phone, and hopefully the stream is a little bit better on my phone than using the Wi-Fi here.
All right.
Okay. All right. I like it. All right. So yeah, like Yuli was saying, we're going up against a bunch of amateurs, guys, in this pick'em.
Pickers, and
so drop your picks.
I'm having a good time, but I could be having a great time.
If you guys are listening to the podcast, head over to YouTube, drop your picks in the comments section down below.
Yeah.
See if you can beat us. All right. So
I can't, but you could try.
So we got Gannon at $7, Kristen at $7. Our $4 tier, we have AB, Ricky, Isaac, Nicholas, Paul, and Calvin.
Niklas is not here. He's got to be at the European Championships as well.
Correct. FPO, we have.
I shouldn't have told the chat that. Dang it.
FPO, we have Holland, Silva, Missy, Evelina, Own, and Cadence. Then the $2 tiers, Kyle Klein, Ezra Robinson, Simon, Adam, Eagle, Corey Ellis, Sully, and Austin Turner has moved up to the $2 tier. FPO, you have Ella, Kat, Haley, Val, Paige, Rebecca, Henna, and Hannah. And then obviously everyone else is on the dollar tier. Yeah. So some interesting situation here.
So we go Holland, then we go Cadence.
Got to go Holland. I like
we
Cadence.
Go Haley. Done.
Let me make sure Haley's playing before everyone yells at me that we locked it in. Yuli, she's not playing this event.
Man, tough. Tough scene.
So we got to go
Merch or Ella.
Val's been playing pretty good.
That's not bad.
Val's been playing pretty good.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it.
You want to go Val?
Yeah.
Let's go Val. Okay. So we're going Holland, Cadence. Oh, Missy's won this tournament though, Yuli. We going Cadence over Missy?
Yes.
Okay. Holland, Cadence, Val.
Bang.
Bang.
And then we're going to go
Gannon. Because he probably is going to win this tournament again.
Do we go Gannon? Gannon. Okay. Gannon.
Yeah, you have to go Gannon. He's going to win this tournament by 5, and we're going to look at each other and be like, that was dumb.
Yeah, okay. It's a guaranteed points. Let's just do it. Gannon.
But winning, you get so many more points than getting like a third place person.
Yeah, let's go Gannon, and then we'll go.
If he wins, it doesn't really matter who else we pick.
Listen to this, though. How about Corey Ellis?
No.
He's been playing so good.
I don't love him on this course, though, for some reason.
Okay. Do you like Simon?
I don't. The problem with Corey Ellis.
Simon playing?
We've talked. Hold on. Dark horse. My setup at this Airbnb is trash. They literally do not have a desk in this Airbnb. So it's been rough down here. Is Simon playing? Fantastic question. And I'll give you that answer right now. Mr. Lazat. Oh, dang it. Hold on. There we go. We have Simon here. Yes. Dude, Simon's kind of nasty at this course, too.
Yep, we go. So Gannon, Simon, and then we need $1. And I know the guy for $1. I know who it is. I know 2 guys.
Is it the guy I played with today?
It's either Chris or Matty O.
Dickerson? Dude, Matty O's nasty at this course. I like Matty O.
All right, Matty O it is.
Let's go Matty O. He's due.
Lock him in.
What has he done this year?
Is he playing? Let's make sure that.
He's got 7th at the Majestic. He's trending.
So he's got to be playing.
He's trending.
Yeah.
He's trending. Okay.
Corey might bite us. I'm telling you. The guy's
apparently Missy's not playing this weekend either.
Oh, good. Well, so don't say that.
Oh, actually, Missy might be playing. She just called in and said she might be playing. All right.
Kristen as well.
Jerm, we're talking about wearables and usable trophies. So perfect segue to have you come on and talk about your hat. How's it going?
It's going great, man. I'm out here bird watching.
Okay.
And doing some good bird watching.
Are you a fan of the usable trophies?
Yeah, to a certain extent. I think they're pretty cool. I thought this weekend's jersey was incredible. The jersey from Minnesota, the fact that the Kale and Matt Odengard or Odie they have connections to the actual official Minnesota Wild equipment manager. They can actually get the equipment that they would use on the ice and then just get custom year for the year that the trophy was given. I think that was just such a cool thing to incorporate the local scene, the local flavor, and also use the resources that they have. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I think.
And swords, those are useful.
Awesome.
They give swords away.
Yeah, swords are usable for sure. Yep, definitely usable.
Axes, hatchets.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of usable
axes are sweet.
Propellers. If you have a plane and it doesn't have a propeller,
steering wheel. Don't forget the steering wheel.
Boat wheel, or what was it?
Helps.
An
oar.
Or was the steering wheel given away?
Every so often, someone gets stuck, in a canoe without an oar, so that can be useful.
True.
Are you turning?
Where was the steering wheel given away?
Don't worry about it. All right, it was just at another garage sale tournament.
Okay, all right.
Got it. PGA Mike's quick. He's quick, Big Jerm. We got the best producer in the business. There's the steering wheel, brother.
You guys, yeah, it is. Oh wow, that for me that came and went in like a second. So like my service out here is pretty spotty, which is obviously already had some with that. Anyways, we're here. We're good now.
We're here. Talk a little bit about your season, because you're doing a lot more. Obviously you're still doing the Jomez stuff, but now you're starting to get a little incorporated on the course stuff. How's that been going?
The season has been honestly so not what I was hoping for it to be. The injuries that I sustained from basically the end of March, early April, up until these last 2 weeks, my return to touring disc golf was back at the Preserve. It was my first time completing a tournament since like early April. So I was hoping to be a lot more accustomed to the ins and outs and the intricacies of my bag at this point of the season. Like the little things that you just learn in tournament situations that you can't learn in practice as well haven't quite occurred yet. So I'm coming back into the season with a lot of rest, which is really nice because normally my body is starting to chip away at me at this part of the season. But I'm also coming into the season with like off-season form. Everyone else is mid-season, and so I feel like I'm at a little bit of a disadvantage. So I'm trying to play catch-up right now, which is not easy to do when you're 39 and a big guy like myself. Like my body just wants to hurt, so I'm having to just push through some things that are uncomfortable. But honestly, the way that I've played the last 2 weeks, there's been a lot of really good things, a lot of things that are reminding me of what kind of skills that I have still. And, like the old golf analogy, like all it takes is one good thing, and then it reminds you why you're doing it. And I had a couple putts last week at the that were just beyond sick. And it just reminded me why the game is so much fun. There's just so many creative ways to enjoy the sport. And, when you're out there playing and you're not really finding those fun shots, it can be kind of hard to find the reason why you're grinding it out week in, week out for 18, 19 straight years. But all it takes is one, man. And I've had a couple of good throws that have reminded me like how special the sport is and how much it means to me and how much, my presence in the sport can still be felt and appreciated by others.
Yeah. So as of right now, no thoughts of like slowing down at all. It sounds like once you kind of are back healthy and able to play, you're planning on still just kind of doing that for, is there any kind of like future thoughts on when you're going to kind of switch over to maybe more on the, commentary side or anything like that?
My services will always be available to DGN and Jomez as long as I'm like on the road. And if DGN wants me to be in the booth, I'll be being in the booth versus playing another tournament. For me, I'm not trying to get points and qualify for the Pro Tour Championship until I'm like really there. And with the amount of the season that I've lost, I feel like my services are appreciated a lot greater on the entertainment side. So that's what I want to do because I enjoy that the most right now. But the more I get like back into that competitive side of like who I am, which is why I'm here in the first place. It's like, not like I didn't just stumble into this because like, oh, this is kind of fun. Like I'm a deeply competitive person. Mm-hmm. And when that side gets sparked again, then that might change a little bit. But for the time being, like I had no intentions of like slowing down the amount of travel, the amount of places that I was going to be. I think that whatever I may have said about like this being a new, a transition for me, and maybe it might look a little than it has in the past, was mostly just geared towards or targeted towards like the fact that I'm going to be playing Masters sometimes. But like, and also just kind of appreciating that I am in a transitional period of my career, and those things are true, but also like I'm going to be at the tournaments. It's silly for me to just not compete at those tournaments. I enjoy competition, but as much as I enjoy competition, competition can be frustrating for me. What's never frustrating for me is seeing somebody smile and seeing someone laugh at a joke or appreciate the insight that I bring to the sport. That's always fun. And so there's definitely sides of me pulling me either direction, but I still have my eyes on competing and trying to take down a Masters World title.
Sometimes it bothers me when people laugh at your jokes. That's the only time I don't want to really see people smile. I'm just kidding. No, that one didn't.
No doubt.
No. Okay. Yeah, missed that
great.
One, you know?
I just can't pay it off. I just can't pay that off with laughing at it, dude. No, that was great. It's so funny how this always happens. Like when. Oh, sorry. Yeah, we have a little delay issue here, but yeah, I know that Yuli deals with this all the time because I deal with this all the time. Whenever I'm signing autographs, someone will come up to me and be like, don't tell Nate or Paul, but you're my favorite commentator. Sign over Paul's name. You know, and like it's like they make a rivalry out of Paul and Nate and myself, and I love that, you know, because we're all so tight, and you know, it's fun to have that little like in-house rivalry. Although right now Paul and Nate are playing really, really good disc golf, so it's hard to call rivalry until, you know, we're neck and neck.
Have you guys ever all played on the same card?
I don't think so.
Oh yeah. And
really?
Oh yes, we have, dude, at the Memorial, and I aced on those fools with that bounce ace.
Oh yeah, that was terrible. That was the worst shot I've ever seen in my life. I can't believe that. Why'd you have to bring that up?
Oh, it wasn't a bad shot. I spiked it. It was supposed to just spike, but instead of spiking, it literally, Brody, it jumped up like 8 feet to an elevated basket. It didn't flop or flubber. It went boing up into the basket, into an elevated basket. Yes.
Oh, I would have been disgusted.
How could it have been horrible?
I would have been disgusted.
Were you even watching this shot, Paul?
Yes, I was.
Oh,
I was
Jesus.
watching. I just visualized it in my head. What was it? A Max? Is that what it was? Or Excalibur? What was it?
No. You know what? It was a concrete slab, so that's the same one as a Max.
Okay, yeah, it was that blue blue concrete slab. Yeah, I remember that thing.
All right, something I have to ask you now that you're kind of doing some behind the scenes, not behind the scenes, but what's the word? I guess commentary on Disc Golf Network. Do you have a producer in your ear when you're on the grounds?
Yeah, you can hear the broadcast that's going on. So you can hear, like, for instance, at the Portland Open, I had Ian and Philo in my ears. And then if I needed to hear something from Mo from DGPT or from DGN, he'd be like, all right, Jeremy, we're going to come to you on this next hole. Call the next shot live. And he'll just tell you basically when you're about to come in. And so then, yeah.
Okay, so if they have that, why is Ian asking you? I think that's one of the biggest things I have right now with the Disc Golf Network live commentary is there's way too many like questions being asked, and it just doesn't flow well at all. Like Ian shouldn't be like, "Hey, Big Jerm, what did you see down there?" Like Mo should be telling you, hey,
Oh,
let us
right.
know what you see what I'm saying? Like Mo should be telling you, hey, you're on. What did you see? And like it just goes straight to you.
Right.
Because right now it feels like Ian's
I think
produced,
that's a great critique.
and it kills it, like when you're like, especially in like big moments when you're like really getting sucked in, and then you have someone being like, hey, what's going on down there? Does he have a shot? Like it's way better when we just hear you. So I don't know what's kind of going on there, but I don't know. I was curious if you actually have a producer in your ear where you can actually hear if they were like, hey, you're going live for these next 4 shots. And also just gonna say, you should go live for every shot.
Yeah, you're good.
Like you should call.
I think that
every shot.
Well, so here's the issue with that is that there are a lot of times when we're watching, or the people that are at home are watching a shot that might not be live. So for me, it's really tricky calling a shot that's not live. But every once in a while, they'll say, all right, this shot's live, go to Jerm. And then it'll be on me to call that shot. But I do think that's actually really great feedback for me to take to Mo or to the guys and be like, hey, like, if you want me to call this next shot, just stay out, let me take it over. And then there would be a smooth transition instead of what you're describing, which I think there is a little bit of that, like, it feels a little bit cheesy. But I think it's just kind of like always been how we've done it. And I think that maybe no one's ever questioned it. Yeah, I think you make some good points.
Yeah, it just kind of knocks you out of like when you're really getting locked into it. So, but yeah, I'm 100% a fan of the person on the ground calling as many live shots as possible because you can see.
I think it could be like, it could be as simple as just being like, we're going to go live to Jerm on hole 14 now. You know, instead of saying, hey, Jerm, what are you seeing on 14? They can just say like, we're going to go to Jerm right now on hole 14, right? Instead of a question, it's more like setting the scene. Or do you think that I should just get in there without them setting the scene of where I am and who's coming in?
Well, you should set the scene. So it should just go to you and then you go, okay, big Jerm here. I'm on hole 14. You know, we got a left to right.
Right.
wind.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there could be a graphic, probably would be the smoothest thing. Like a graphic pops up and it's like, or something.
Because what is happening right now is Ian is basically saying, because I mean, I think some other people are doing it, but I'm just calling out Ian because I feel like I hear him doing it the most. It's like he's basically saying out loud what we're all thinking. And we want to know we all want to know that question. Like we all want to know that question. You don't have to ask the question that everyone knows. Did that just stay in bounds? Right? Like we all want to know, did that just stay in bounds? Instead of always asking, Jerm, are you down there? Can you see? Did that stay in bounds? Just have you be like, oh my gosh, you won't believe this. That just barely stayed in. And so that's where it always just feels like, I don't know. It doesn't flow well at all. And I mean, there's a reason why now they have like unplugged, which is sad to see, but they literally have an option to where you can watch it without commentary. That's sad that that's even an option.
It's always been an option. It's called
mute.
It's called
mute, sure.
Yeah. But to me, it's just like, I think the more that you can call the shots on the ground, and the people in the booth, they're more setting the stage. They're more giving stats. They're more saying maybe what players' emotions and stuff might be going through. I just love hearing from the person on the ground and let them just talk. Let them just soak it up. They can hear, they can see the shots better. They know what the players are going through. They can maybe even overhear, because that's one thing I think we are missing right now, is like being able to like hear conversations that are happening. This past weekend, there was a big conversation with Kristen missing Amando potentially. And instead of us just hearing the card talk about it, we just heard the commentary talk over the card, the players that were talking about it. And they were like speculating what was happening. And I was like, we want to hear what the players are saying right now. So I feel like there's just a lot of times where they're missing the ball a little bit, and that's why I think people are frustrated right now with live commentary.
Yeah, I think like these are all like things that we learn by watching other sports and what to look for, what differences what we provide as versus what a more established production crew is doing. And it's all great stuff. I mean, I think that we all want live disc golf to be as entertaining as any other sport. We know how fun it is to watch disc golf, especially when the scene and the stage is set correctly. And we're getting there, man. I mean, like if you were watching DGN, 5 years ago, it wasn't it, and every year I feel like they've made some advances that have improved the product quite a bit, but it's still work in progress. And, even though Mo's a great producer, our commentators still need to be, and I don't know any commentator aside from Paul Oman that actually went to communications, a collegiate degree. Everyone else is just like disc golf to have grown accustomed to being behind or in front of a camera, communicating what they're seeing because they've experienced in doing it. And so therefore there's a lot of things that like I'm always trying, and I think that we can all, be more open to potentially taking like off-season classes. And it's not that I want to change my style of commentary so much that it's not still me, but I want to be able to know like what is the proper, like what are the guidelines, right? What is like the definition of a commentator? And then I can see how I can like mold myself into using my DNA to being the best possible version of myself.
Yeah, it's not
Paul
so
Oman
much.
has a communication degree. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah, I would agree with you there, Big Jerm.
Yeah, that's what I said too. I was like, dude, you're the only one trained for this.
I literally failed
Say
English.
What?
I literally failed English, and I literally speak that language. So that's pretty sweet that I somehow got a gig.
And it's almost clear every single time you speak, honestly.
Yeah, to me, it's not so much the like the meat and the potatoes. I think the meat and potatoes is good. I think it's all like the extra sauces around, right? Like I don't want you to be like, I'm going to change how I describe shots. I'm going to change how I talk about players. It's more like, oh, this is a really good way to transition into this. This is a really good way to transition out. If something crazy happens and we got to cut straight to commercial, here's a good way of getting there. It's more of that stuff that feels amateur.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like that's the amateur
stuff. As far as calling a shot goes, as far as like appreciating the shot selection or the ability of a player, that stuff I have no concerns about my ability or Paul's ability or anyone who's in position to call to really set that stage. But what you're talking about, that's the kind of stuff that like, if I want to take on the Terry Miller, the Ian Anderson role someday and be like the lead guy for DGN, those are the kind of things that I need to know how to listen to Mo in my ear, not be distracted by what he's saying, know how to send it to a commercial, know how to throw it down to the player on the course. All those things are skills that I haven't learned yet. And it's kind of daunting to think about putting myself in the fire and then just doing that. Like I want to have some sort of training in that because I want to be the best possible commentator for disc golf that I can be. Like I want to be in this sport for the rest of my days. I want to continue doing this because it brings so much enjoyment, and it's the best use of my skills and my ability to tell stories. And so like if I want to do that, then I have to be open to some sort of training because there's just information out there that I know that I can get and it would help me be even better.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it just will tell the story better. Because there are bad commentators in every sport. So this is nothing new in disc golf. Everyone complains about commentators across every sport, but the good commentators, and everyone knows the good commentators in other sports, they really bring that extra value to the events that they cover. And that's just what I would love to see more on the disc golf side. We're not going to have everyone's not going to be everyone's favorite cup of tea, but I think there are things that you can at least get better at to where it doesn't feel amateurish. And I think there are some times where it feels that way and it makes it really hard to view. Because I think like what you guys do at Jomez, I think is great, but like that doesn't work for live, right? Like that doesn't work for like a live, unbiased professional broadcast, because you guys are doing like almost kind of like a bunch of guys are getting together and watching disc golf together, and people love that. It's a companion stream, right? Like that's kind of what you guys do as commentary, and it works really, really well. But for like the main broadcast, it needs to be more of a professional kind of thing. Does that make sense? In a way, I don't know if that makes sense, but I don't know. I just feel like there's different lanes for everything, and that's the one lane that we don't currently have in disc golf. And that's why I think a lot of people,
hear
when they want
almost everything you're saying.
Oh no. Okay. Welcome to Iowa. Welcome to Iowa.
Your face. Oh God!
Hopefully,
your faces are frozen, and you guys are speaking like robots.
Well, people think you're talking from the moon, so there's that. All right. Well, I don't know if you can hear us or not, Big Jerm. We're gonna let you go. We appreciate all that you do. Congratulations on the win. Congratulations on the sick jersey. And I think that is a usable trophy this past weekend that you will definitely like to use in the future.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It sounded like you were saying congratulations on something, and I think it had something to do with my jersey. So I'll say thanks. I appreciate that. It was fun, 10-20 thrower and making some money off of that. It's been a while since I've seen that action, so that was fun.
He gone. Yeah. There we go. All right. Yeah. He's out. All
right. He's gone.
I didn't think he'd ever leave. Is the thing. No, just kidding.
Well, folks, I mean, this is what we get. Unfortunately, sometimes they do put us in places that don't have the best infrastructure. It is what it is. I'm just glad my hotspot. I mean, I guess I look like Blurry Horse tonight, so it is what it is.
No, you look good now.
Okay, we're back. Yuli, safe travels. Safe travels, brother. Are you like, is this like goodbye to the family? Or are you coming back and then this? Oh, geez. Okay. Yeah. So we're going to let Yuli run off.
I gotta go.
Big thanks to Gary. Big thanks to PGA Absolutely. Mike. Big thanks to Austin. Big thanks to Brad for coming on. And big thanks to all of you guys in the chat for tuning in tonight. We appreciate each and every one of you. And big thanks to our big trophies, because some people out there like the big trophies. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next week.